to the NBA, Dacius, I know how fond you think of LeBron, how much you respect him as a basketball player. Recently, Braun charged up Stephen A. courtside at a game. Yo, keep my son out of this. Stop talking about my son. Hold on. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen it by now. Um, Was LeBron wrong for approaching Stephen A in this situation? Do you feel like there's a particular side? Like, do you feel like, yeah, like, do you feel like Braun was wrong in how he approached Stephen A? Do you feel like he was being overly sensitive about the matter? Or like, what was your take on LeBron approaching Stephen A courtside about, how he covers or talks about Bronny?
Uh, I'm a check it because, bro, chill out, bro. You know how this go. You've been a part of this for umpteen years. It's journalism, and if you ain't used to it by now, then, bro, go cry in the corner somewhere, my nigga. Don't try to flex your muscle on boys. That's lame, sheesh. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Real kings don't do that, bro. Real kings don't do that to people who we feel like you can do it to. You know what I'm saying? And pause. Cause you know what I'm saying, it just ain't cool, bro. You gotta lead by example. And if you really had a problem with that man, you get it behind closed doors. You make sure that don't no cameras touch him, don't no microphones, and can't nobody see none of that, but you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to hear nothing about that. I was angry or tensions are high and all that because those are excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like we live by a code. You know, gentlemen live by a code, and you know what I'm saying. We approach each other and we handle each other. You know, in the confines of that code. And I feel like with you knowing that that's how that man get paid. You know what I'm saying? And you know, everybody trying to get paid off talking about your son. Why come at the black man for doing it, bro? Like, and publicly do it. The black man that you know everybody's known for doing that, bro. Like that's lame-o. I'm trying not to curse, but I don't. I never respect that. I never respect that, and I thank God that I can always see when God is not in the situation. You know what I'm saying? When someone is moving off of the enemy's emotions and allowing the enemy to use them. I thank God I can always notice that in a person. And I don't care who you are, I'm never siding with it. I love you, bro. Great basketball player. But when it comes to the war of good and evil, yeah, I stand out, bro. I've been standing out, but I asked Ty triggered. But I asked Ty triggered about me.
um, there's a variety of different, obviously, perspectives as it relates to was Braun right or was Braun wrong. Um, I believe that what LeBron did to Stephen A. Smith wasn't solely about Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith was the poster child in LeBron's head, I believe, for everybody who has had negative or just who has had negative things to say about Bronny, whether out of the spirit of just critiquing his game or obviously trolling and like, you know what I'm saying, being an anti-LeBron fan. So therefore you also trying to bring down Bronny. So I know at face value is Braun talking specifically to Stephen A. And obviously for the longest, Braun hasn't addressed like BS that's been in the media or comments and all these types of things that have been said about him. But though it was Braun talking to Stephen A, I think that was him, Braun sending a message to Stephen A to be like, yo, not just you, but to all y'all other media people, stop fucking with my son, right? And Stephen A just happened again to be the poster child of that broadcast from LeBron, right? So that's that. Um, One thing I will credit Stephen A. Smith on that I don't think not many people have addressed is that like Stephen A. could very well easily be a coward of a reporter and somebody who covers the league. Meaning he could easily say whatever he want to say about y'all in the comfort of the ESPN studios and never be willing to meet y'all face to face. Never be willing to be out and about, so on and so
at the
forth
games.
at the games, right? So somebody like a Skip Bayless never went to any of the games. Skip Bayless talked reckless about Bron and many other players for years upon years, and ain't never put himself in a position to be a punch to be seen, right? So from that standpoint, like I respect Stephen A. Like from a standpoint of like, yo, if I'm gonna say whatever I'm gonna say about you, I'm gonna put myself in a position for me and you to be able to have a conversation. Whether that's you pulling up on me at a game, at an event, or if that's, you know what I'm saying, you reaching out to me via phone. So from a man to man standpoint, I respect Stephen A from that standpoint. And I feel like if Braun truly in his heart or heart's desire had beef with Stephen A, he could have reached out and been like, hey, we need to have a conversation, right? um Part of me feel, you know how sometimes when like you you know how sometimes when like you have to like defend the honor of somebody you love. I feel like some of that also too with Savannah being in Braun here, like, why does motherfucker Stephen A keep talking about my motherfucking son? Woo, woo, woo. Like, you need to check that nigga if you ever run into him. So like I feel like some of that was also is like I can't let
Stephen ain't messing with his pool at the house. Damn. Hey man, come on, man. It's driving me crazy at the house, man.
So I feel like part of that was like Braun having to not just like be in defense of Bronny, but also having to like make sure his old lady and Savannah James feel like he holding
His
it
whole
down.
family.
You know what I'm
My daughter
saying?
crying. She reading about her son, about her brother, and she crying, man. That's what I'm getting, man. And my
You
wife got to
know,
console her dog, man. Stop it.
and also too, I would say Braun is saying this in his, you know, what he was, you know, yelling at Stephen A. Stop coming at my fucking son. Stop talking about my son. All of this, right? I say Braun is wrong in this sense, and he allowed his emotions to get the best of him, which it happens. You're human, I understand, but he's
Mm-hmm.
wrong in the sense of you telling Stephen A. to keep my son name out your mouth, but you being a calculated, intelligent individual that we believe you to be on the court and off the court, you should know going to Stephen A. is only going to cause us to continuously talk about your son. And for that to be the case, right? Like
You wanted it.
you didn't help Bronny. You didn't like you doing that didn't prompt Stephen A to be like, okay, I won't talk about him no more. Like we're still talking about your son, Bron, solely because of what you did. Solely because of
Mm-hmm.
what you did in the public eye going at Stephen A like that. I get
Yep.
it. I think the emotions got the best of him. He seen Stephen A. He probably seen Red. I'm pretty sure I would like to believe if he could do it all over again or go about it a different way, he would again, especially considering uh you have you got Rich Paul who has a relationship with Stephen A. That's nothing more than a hey, make this phone call, get Stephen A on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really trying to protect, I think Braun was emotional. I don't fault him for that. It's your son, it's your kid. Like you're gonna be protective of your family. This ain't like I don't think he should be condemned necessarily for not being able to compartmentalize. Okay, I'm at work and I'm a dad. I don't think you ever turn off being a parent per se, right? So, so yeah, um, yeah, I just like Braun didn't help the situation. For him to want to protect Bronny and want Stephen A. as well as other media members to keep Bronny's name out of his mouth, he didn't help the situation by what he did. He just made it work. He added gas to the fire. And so, in that standpoint, I would say Stephen A. is wrong because he didn't accomplish what his goal was. I don't believe he accomplished anything in doing it in terms of dialing down the attention and the volume on all of the Bronny conversation. Um, so yeah, it was another POV man that I had heard. I heard from Keenan Martin, but it slips my mind. I forget it. But that's my overall take on it too. And I was listening to the Gil's Arena episode with Stephen A. that just came out, and Stephen A's gripe, Stephen A's POV is, hey, I'm not talking about your son. I'm talking about the position in which you as a father curated to put your son in. I'm talking about how you brought all this attention on your son. I'm not talking about your son, but I'm talking about you specifically, LeBron. Um, and and other people, I know other people, Gil's Arena crew, like they're arguing, hey, let him be the 55th pick. Let's treat him like the overall 55th pick, which is let's not care about him, pay no unnecessary attention to him like you would any other 55th pick. But when Braun is saying, hey, Bronny is better than half the guys in this league, when Braun is saying, like, I want my son to play with me on the team and so on and so forth, when you put him on a pedestal before he comes in the league and earns any stripes, Braun, you know the media better than anybody. Like, what do you think is going to happen, dog? You know what
Yeah,
I'm
rake them over the coals. Yeah.
saying? So it's just like I I I can only understand it to a certain magnitude because obviously, like, I ain't never been no farther, and none of us have been great enough as LeBron James to be great so long in your career to where you could actually play with your son. Nobody has been great that long or had that opportunity. And so, like, this is a first time situation for LeBron. For the longest, he was been able to navigate through the media unscathed with just taking all the arrows in his back for himself. But I understand emotionally, it's a different type of feel when this is your son. Like, of course, Braun is not looking at Bronny as no coworker or his teammate. He's looking at him every day on the basketball court as his son. And when you as a parent see your son getting all of this criticism, whether it be warranted or not, that is going to make you be very emotional and act possibly in an irrational fashion. And I think that's what
Mhm.
we're seeing with LeBron right now, um, as he's in a situation he's never been in before. So, so yeah, man. And this is the last thing I'll say about it. People who like really have you lose sleep about LeBron's success and you sleep well when you feel like LeBron has failed and you have this disdain for the nepotism that he's used in his favor to allow his son to be in the NBA. If you as a parent hate LeBron for what he's been able to do for his son, but you yourself haven't been great enough in whatever field it is you work in enough to be able to put your kids on, I don't respect that. I don't. I do not respect that. I
Never.
again, how he went at Stephen A. I don't agree with Braun doing that because it didn't serve a better purpose for Bronny. But all in all, I respect what LeBron has been able to do throughout the course of his career to be able to put his son in a position to be in the NBA. And for y'all who hating on that and like you can't afford to like put your kid in a position of being successful when they get out of college and by being great at whatever it is you do, yeah, bro, you're a sucker. Like I have no respect for that in no way, shape, or form. How dare you be mad at LeBron for something you can't do for your kid? Um, so yeah, man. Yeah.